Hey everybody, it's Amanda with Sugar Bees Gifts Decor and More. Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, thank you for stopping by. If you haven't already, click that like and subscribe button. I hope that you'll do so before you leave today. Today we're going to talk about tumblers. I recently got back into the tumbler game amongst all the other stuff I do, the embroidery, the vinyl, the decor, hand-painted decor, all that stuff. But once upon a time I was doing tumblers, and then I kind of got frustrated with it because I couldn't get the look I wanted. But after helping my daughter's friend, I gave her everything I had. I gave her all the stuff that I had to do them, and she's made a pretty good go of it. But helping her along and educating her more, I in turn educated myself more. So I've started back doing it, and they have been a big hit. I think I try to keep my prices more comparable to get people in. I think, and to each his own, but I think some people may price these cups a little bit too high considering what they get. And yes, it does take a lot of time. And maybe eventually I'll up my prices a little bit more, but right now I feel like if I wouldn't pay that price for a cup, I'm not going to charge somebody else for it. I mean, and I know how much time I have into it, and everybody's patient about the time it takes. But tonight I just want to talk about some of the tips, give you some of the tips that I've learned either through someone else or something I've picked up on my own that may help you out. First things first, where do you get the cups? If I'm in a pinch, I get them at Walmart. Otherwise, I order from Stainless Steel Depot in their Hog brand cups. I've looked at other outlets to get them from, other wholesalers, but the prices all seem about the same. They all seem to have the same style cups. There's really no difference to me. Because I had been shopping around because Stainless Steel Depot was taking a little bit longer than I cared for. But then you have to consider COVID and everything is lagging. So I think that I'm getting the best price that I possibly can. Everybody's the same, but like within 50 cents of each other. Shipping still remains the same. So I think that's the best deal for me right now. If you know some other ones, I would be glad to look into them. As far as my turners, and I'll turn you around here. As far as my turners, I have them made locally. I initially ordered my 2-turner, which is this one here. I initially ordered that one from a gentleman that was making them, and then as business grew, I needed more, but I couldn't get in touch with him anymore. So one of my business associates, they started making them as well. So I just had them make me a 3-turner here. So now I'm up to 5. It's nothing fancy. They did modify this one for me because, as you can see, this one right here, the poles they're not capable of coming off because of this board right here. The coupler won't fit through these holes here. So when I had this one made last week, I had them just notch out tops in the board so I can unscrew these poles from the motors and take them off and then put them on a drying stand once they become once the epoxy's not moving around anymore. Once it's settled and stable, it's probably still going to be tacky, but like I said, it's cooled down, it's not moving anymore, and I can feel safe to move them out of the way. This mat right here, I've found this on TikTok. Yes, TikTok, my daughter introduced me to it, my 16-year-old daughter, and I have found a plethora of information on there. This is it's silicone shelf liner, and I'll show you on the roll. But it's silicone shelf liner, and I don't have the wrap that went around anymore. I got this at Walmart, but it looks similar to bubble wrap, but it's, like I said, it's silicone shelf liner. I want to say it's Easy Mat or Easy Shelf or something like that. If you go to your local Walmart or department store where they sell shelf liner, I do believe Target has it, Walmart has it, several places have it. But it comes on a roll like this. Like I said, I can't remember how many feet are on this roll, but it's a good bit for $9. Or excuse me, $9.97. So you might as well say 10 with tax. But epoxy, dried epoxy will not stick to this. So once it's dry, you can just peel it right off. Now I peeled this one earlier while I was on the phone. So I don't have anything to show you. But once it dries, you can just peel your epoxy right off there. And then you continue to have a clean working area. You don't have to worry about having that, like, say, excess glitter, debris on there, trash, whatever, that may possibly blow up onto your cup. What else? Hubby made me this nice little rack back here for a drying rack. It's just, I do believe it's either 1.5 or 2-inch PVC just set down in a 1x4, and my wooden poles, and I usually have some type of foam on there, pool noodle or footballs, just to slide my cups down on top there. So that's a nice little drying station. I don't care for these footballs too much. I usually like using the pool noodles more. Because these footballs break down over time and the paint starts flecking off of them, and I don't like that. And it ends up getting on my cups. I'm just trying to move stuff out of the way here. This little torch here comes in handy for either popping your bubbles. Don't hold it in one place too long, because I have set a cup on fire before. So just remember that. It runs off butane. I got this at Walmart. And I got the butane as well. And for some reason, when I got this that day, butane was not to be found. I can't remember where I eventually found it at. This is actually my husband's, and I need to get my own, but I got this for him. This is just like a little stocking stuff for Christmas, but it's just a rechargeable Dremel, and it comes with a ton of attachments. Sanding bands, buffers, cutting disc. It comes with it comes with drill bits as well. But I did get him a separate set at Walmart, a huge set in like those $10, $5 and $10 gift sets around Christmas time. So he has even more. But I've been using it to clean up the top of my cups. It gives when you use the sanding band with it, it gives you a nice little ledge right there, because you don't want to bring your design all the way up to the top, because you need a little you need something for the epoxy to adhere to at the top. So I just trim a nice little edge around there. You can sand on the inside of your cup too with those sanding bands, and it just gives a nice finish. What else? I highly recommend these to keep track of your orders. It's just a Tumbler order form. I downloaded it offline. But you can see it outlines your cup size, the design that they want, delivery message. I don't deliver. It's all pickup. Your decal information such as name, quote, or other image. How they're paying, and all their contact information. But you can find these online. If you need help finding one, just let me know and I can email it to you. What else? I know there's quite a few people that don't, but I highly recommend wearing some type of respirator when you're messing with epoxy. This is a 2097. This is actually what my husband uses when he paints cars. He brought me this one home from work. But I highly recommend getting some type of respirator mask. You don't need to be inhaling these epoxy fumes. Even though they may be low odor and non-toxic, they're still putting off some cancer-causing agents. So protect your lungs, protect yourself. Wear some type of mask. Safety glasses. When you're using this Dremel, or you're trimming down your cups, I'm protective over my eyes. Like my husband's in the automotive business. He's automotive body repair technician. And we highly recommend safety glasses. We've had quite a few friends either lose their eyesight or damage their eyes because of not wearing eye protection. I mean, not so much when you're just doing epoxy, but when you're using a power tool on metal, something's going to fly back at you. So make sure you do that. Next thing over here, this is, and I'll bring you in closer. This is my paint booth. In the past few days, I've decided to try to stay away from aerosol spray paint. I am now using water-based acrylic airbrush paint. There's several different brands you can get. I like the Createx. And I wonder who it's made by. It's made by Createx Colors. Some are made by other companies. But there's Wicked Colors and there's Createx that you can go directly to Hobby Lobby and buy. Or if you have a Hobby Town near you, because a lot of little model car enthusiasts, they use these to paint their cars. Do a little fun detail work. These can be used on hard surfaces as well as fabrics, I do believe. Yes, yes, yes. Just to give you some information about this, you do have to have an airbrush. You have to use at least a 0.5 millimeter tip size, and you need at least 40 to 50 psi on your air compressor. Mine's down here. It's the Pasha air compressor. I've had it for quite a few years. So, and that is, I don't even think it has the PSIs on there, but I know it's at least, does it even have the, I thought it did, but I guess not. It's very quiet. You don't hear it like, you know, you do your larger compressors. So you'll need an airbrush, and of course you'll need a compressor, because if not, your airbrush is worthless. But it recommends using a 0.5 size tip on your airbrush at 40 to 50 psi. If you have a smaller tip size, you can do a lower psi. It's a slow drying tip dry reducing paint, and you can use this on fabrics. It heat sets at 325 degrees after you press it for 20 to 25 seconds on your heat press. We haven't delved into that yet. It's something I do want to try, because Lord knows the redneck in me loves an airbrush t-shirt from Panama City and Gatlinburg. But you can use this on hard surfaces such as canvas, wood, paper, plastic, vinyl, fiberglass, aluminum, and more. For increased adhesion and durability on hard surfaces, they recommend using a 430 balancing clear. It's a top coat. Well, actually, it's an additive. You add it into your paint when you're spraying. You add it 10 to 25%. You add 10 to 25% volume of the top coat. I don't get into that. After I spray these colors, I set them, or I seal them, I clear coat them with either a semi-gloss or a gloss clear, and I use Rust-Oleum brand paints. Krylene's okay, but Krylene's a little bit too runny for me. The Rust-Oleum has a better adhesion to me, and it sprays a lot more evenly to me, if that's even a word. But back to these Createx airbrush colors. That's what the bottle looks like. And you have Opaque Colors, which, if you don't know what opaque means, which I think most people probably do, opaque means they're non-translucent. So these are very full coverage paints. And just to show you a few of the colors, or a few of the options that they offer, I'll just grab them here. I need to get a rack for these. They have transparents. This one is see-through, so this would look great over a chrome, yes, a chrome spray paint, which Rust-Oleum, yes, they make the chrome. Yes, it's Rust-Oleum metallic finishes, but they do make a beautiful chrome. I mean, beautiful. This is chrome on this one. I know it's hard to see because it's been sanded down and it looks kind of dull, but it looks great. So the transparents would give kind of a candy finish over chromes. Pearlized. I haven't tried the white yet. I'm sure it's going to be kind of transparent, so you're probably going to want to put this over a darker color to get that true pearlized effect. But you probably want to do, you know, that with a darker color like this one. This one's called Black Pearl, but it's very pretty. It's kind of a gunmetal color. This Blue Pearl is very beautiful. What are they calling it? Blue Pearl. And then they have fluorescents. Sure, I'm telling you all about them. Then they have fluorescent colors. You have numerous colors to choose from. This is the fluorescent raspberry. Gorgeous. And I'm telling you, with these paints, with all of them, a little bit goes a long way. I use a, this is my airbrush. I use this little well here instead of using, they do make attachments for these bottles to go on here. But I use my little well instead. There's a little line down there. I don't know if you can see it, but that's about 5 drops worth of paint. It goes a long way. You don't have to thin these paints out. They already come with a reducer built into them. So they flow very well through your gun. You're going to want to take good care of your gun, so you want to get the best paints you possibly can. These run all colors, $4.99 at Hobby Lobby. So they're not badly priced at all. Like I said, if you went to a model hobby shop, you will probably have more of a selection with them than you do at Hobby Lobby. They just have a small little section, but it's the closest thing to me. And with colors, I like to see them in person. I don't like ordering them off Amazon because sometimes it varies on what you're going to get. You may order one color, but then when it gets here, it really doesn't look like what you ordered. But moving on to the actual airbrush. This is a Pasha Airbrush. This came as a set. I got it about 4 or 5 years ago. This is called a single action airbrush gun. And what the difference is between a single action is, let's see if I can get, I have another. And you know, this was about $150. But you don't have to pay that much. Single action opposed to a dual action. This is a dual action here, and this comes from Harbor Freight, and I'll talk about this one in just a minute. You can really control your flow more with a dual action. With the dual action, this is so hard to explain because I am not an airbrush guru or anything like that. Basically, when I press this down, paint comes out. When I let go, it doesn't. With your dual action, I can, basically it's like a throttle. I can let in and out and either make a thicker line or a smaller line. But you have to press down to get the air to pass through to make the paint come out. But you can control your flow more with a dual action than you can a single action. Now I have learned with this one, my single action, that one's broken by the way, but they're only like $15 at Harbor Freight. The most expensive part of your purchase is going to be your compressor, and I cannot remember how much a compressor costs separately, but they do sell them there as well. But I've learned how to adjust my tip to regulate my flow on this single action. But this is my favorite. This is the one I keep going back to. Now I will tell you, you need to keep your gun clean. You're using water-based paints, you clean it with water. If you're using urethanes, you need to clean it with a lacquer thinner. But you always want to be careful, mindful of your needles on here. They do break easily, and if you break your needle, you're out of luck. You can't use your gun. And this one is a little bit older, so I don't know how much trouble I would have finding a needle for it. With this particular one, this is, I mean, I think Pasha still makes it, but this is a, do they have a model number on here? I don't think they do. But just search, if you're searching on, say, Amazon, search for single action airbrush gun, and more than likely it's going to pull up this Pasha. I don't know if it's still, I bought it in store, so I don't know if you'll be able to find it as a set that comes with the compressor. But you get 3 different tips and needles with it in varying sizes. I think it comes with a 0.5, a 5, and a 3. 5 being your largest. Yeah, because I like the 3. It gives me the flow I want. It'll come with 2 of these jars. You can attach this jar, take your well out here and replace it with this jar. Say that you're doing a base coat or a prime on a cup. This would be a great way to say prime numerous cups at once, because I'm telling you, this little well is going to hold enough to at least do a 40-ounce cup without having to refill. But if you're doing numerous ones, I highly recommend using your jar. You're going to get 2 of these jars, one without the nozzle and one with. The one with is basically if you're, say, mixing paints, you're using craft paints and reducing them to thin them out. You could mix it in that. But I'm going to tell you, I tried the whole mixing the craft paints thing. No, don't do it. I did nothing but make a mess. It gummed up my gun. It dried very fast in there. I know craft paints are less expensive than these airbrush paints, but these airbrush paints are worth the money. Especially if you don't want to continue to sand runs out, or the gun's going to spit because it's clogged, or you're going to constantly have to clean it out because it's clogged. And that involves taking basically this whole little mechanism right here apart and cleaning it out with these fine little brushes. But you still need to do that anyway after each use. But these are, like I said, $4.99. I know the price comparable to, craft paints is a lot cheaper, but just save yourself some time and money and just buy the airbrush paints. They still adhere great to a well-prepped cup. That means sanding them down with Scotch-Brite and just bringing them down to a dull finish. But these paints still work very well. And like I said, I seal them afterwards with a top coat, a clear top coat. What else? Oh, so let's talk about the Harbor Freight gun. Much more affordable. Much more affordable. And I'll show you what I'm talking about by the needle. This one's easier to take apart than my other one. So on this one, and this is what most of them will look like. So this is your needle. You can see that there. I don't know if it's going to focus very well. That's your needle. You want to protect that needle at all costs. You want to keep it clean. And you want to keep it wet when you're painting. Be very gentle. Bring it back in. I think I had too much tip dry in this one. I think that's what the problem is. But like I said, I paid $15 for it at Harbor Freight. So very inexpensive to replace. I never can how to put this thing back on the right way. Same thing with this one. It came with its own hose. You are going to need a coupler to attach it to your air compressor. So just be sure before you leave there that you get the right fitting to attach it directly to your compressor. Otherwise, you're going to have crappy airflow, or you're either going to have too much or not enough. Just make sure, or it's not going to fit on there at all. So like I said, I'm not sure how much the air compressors are at Harbor Freight, but I know I paid less than $15 for this one. It's not too heavy. This one's pretty heavy compared to this one. But it has removable tips. It's, which, when I say tips, it just makes it easier to clean that tip. You want to constantly make sure you're gently cleaning off that tip. You can take a Q-tip and clean it off. Just take your fingernails and clean it off, but keep that tip clean. And every time you get done with your gun, make sure you clean it off. Do I have any cups around here? All over there. I'll show you a couple. All right, here is a couple, well, a few. Okay, this is a Cinderella Cup I'm working on. Now this that you see right here, the raised areas, now that is epoxy. But I went back and highlighted those areas with white with my airbrush to give it a little bit more dimension. So that just shows you how much control you can have with your airbrush. And these, I sprayed the base coat on them. Now I did run one little spot on here. These have been sealed, but I did this with the airbrush gun. So this is my base coat. This is basically going to be an out of focus, like Christmas light type thing. So we're going to put chunky iridescent glitter over this, and it's going to look gorgeous, hopefully. But I did the entire base coat all with airbrush. And see, you can get a little heavy-handed sometimes, and you can have runs. But I wasn't too worried about it on this one because it's going to be covered up with glitter. This is another Galaxy one we're working on. We're going to go back and do some swirl with epoxy and pigments. So this is going to have a lot more dimension to it after we're done. But you can see how creative you can get with your airbrush. And these are another helpful tip here. This here. Get these at the Dollar Tree. But as soon as you see them, grab all you want then, because they go out of stock frequently. These are just paper towel holders. Like I said, everything's $1 at the Dollar Tree. And then you just take a pool noodle, slide it on there. And this is like no, this is not the smallest pool noodle. This is like the medium size. But then you can take your cup, slide it down on there, and keep it stable while you're painting it. So it's not flopping all around. Because you want to get an even coat, you know, with any paint you're using. So you need something to hold it still and keep it stable. You can even, if you were outside spray painting, you could hold it by the end and get nice little strokes. And I see a lot of this going on. If you're using spray paints, like I said, my husband, he paints cars, he repairs cars, you know, the bodies on them. I see a lot of people holding their spray paint cans and just going, don't do that. The rule of thumb is start 2 inches from each end. So you're going to start here, spray, let off. Come back, do the same thing, spray, start here, start your spray, let off when you get over here. For one thing, this is going to cause you less overspray, and you're going to get an even coat on your cup. You're going to have to do less coats, and you're going to have an even coat and less likely for runs. So this is what he taught me. Start 2 inches from your project or your item. Start 2 inches before, spray continually, at least 6 inches away, by the way. When you get to the end, stop, come back, start over, and you do that the entire way around the cup. Don't just start, it's going to be too thick, and you're going to have more risk of it being too thick and either having runs or it's going to nick a lot easier. So we'll just put those down there and get them out of the way. What else? What other little helpful handy thing can I tell you? Let's see. I know a lot of people have those Cool dispenser bottles. These came from Dollar Tree. Your epoxy will not harden up as long as they're separated in part A and part B bottles. So I keep my epoxy in here. It's a lot easier to control the flow and it's a lot less messy. I have a drawer over here with all my accessories in it here. Now this opposed to my other setup where t-shirts are. This kind of looks like kind of hobo setup under the railroad tracks. So don't make fun of me. But over here I have my gloves. These little carousel things, I just found those at one of my Dollar Trees, and they're great for holding the paintbrushes that I just solely use for these cups that I don't touch anything else with. My epoxy stirrers, my spatulas for water slides, my stencil brushes, all that good stuff. It's just alcohol and epoxy and Mod Podge. I picked these up at Michael's. That's Michael's. Yes, Art Minds. But they're just little 8-ounce jars. And whenever I have extra glitter that I can't put back into their original jars and you know, trying to prevent mixing, I put the extra in here, and we call this everything but the kitchen sink, because it's a mixture of everything I've ever mixed. I'm on my second jar now, so you can just see it's just, but I've tried it on some molds, and I don't think I've tried it on a cup yet, but it turns out so gorgeous when you get done. So gorgeous. All right, let's see here. In our top drawer here, it's just more brushes, scissors, squeegees, paint brushes, electrical tape. These are Dollar Tree brand's version of the Mr. Clean erasers. These are great for cleaning the epoxy in paint overspray off the rim of your cup. They don't disintegrate like cotton balls or paper towels. So these are great. And I just took, this was a 2-pack of them, and I just chopped them down to little cube sizes. You can now get the double-sided tape at Dollar Tree too. I want to say it comes 2 to a pack, and I got 2 packs of it. But always need masking tape. Get you some good masking tape. That's actually Dollar General brand, but most of the tape we have is 3M because it comes through the paint supplier. Plastic cups for mixing glitter, or if I don't use my silicone cups for my epoxy, I'll use those. Next drawer we have down here is just hot balls, popsicle sticks, parchment, wax paper to catch my extra glitter. These are what the erasers look like that you get from the Dollar Tree. Alcohol inks, all that. My fishnet stockings for my lure cups. That's about it in there. But pretty much everything I'm showing you, you can get at the Dollar Tree as far as supplies. I get a lot of stuff on clearance if I think I can use it. This came from Dollar Tree. This is a $60 set of Liquitex paint markers. We're going to be using these on a tie-dye cup. Oh, they're going to be so pretty. These are fluorescent markers. Are they a water base? It doesn't say. I don't know how long I've had these things. It doesn't say. It doesn't say. But then down here on the bottom, this is pigments and glitter shapes. Yes, and mold blanks. And y'all know y'all can pick these drawers up anywhere. I actually need a bigger one because I'm overflowing. But all my paints, because I share them with my husband, they're over here, and there's a ton of them. Those are all my acrylic paints. I use those on cups as well. Over there, you know, that's my t-shirt work area if you've watched my videos before, and it goes way, way back. But all my glitter is stored in here. Hold on. So this entire cabinet is full of glitter. And these are all glitter mixes on this shelf here. And then just little display area stuff. But what else do I need to show you? What else? This is another TikTok trick here. I can't use it on my 3-turner, but I can use it on my 2-turner. This is just a, I did a video on it showing you guys. You just take this and put it over your 2-cup turner, and you keep all the flies and dust and loose glitter out of it, off your cups while they're spinning before they dry. This little tray down here that you see on the floor, that came from the $3 bin at Target. That's what I use for my water slides. And it's come in handy. It's so much more easier because it's very shallow. And I have plenty of room to spread. Say if I'm doing a big wrap on a cup, I have plenty of room to spread it out. That's my paint booth. Or not my paint booth, this is my photo booth. It's made from all Dollar Tree stuff. Every bit of it is Dollar Tree. These are foam boards from Dollar Tree. The lights inside are from Dollar Tree. It's put together with Dollar Tree double-sided tape. I mean, it's very simple to make. I think the only pieces I had to cut down were the sides. But all the LED lights, and I recommend getting, I started out with 3. I recommend getting at least 5 to 6 because you're going to need a lot of light in there. But you get a lot more professional pictures and a lot better lighting in it. Same thing with my paint booth over here. It's made out of foam board, double-sided it together as well. You're going to want something to even with airbrush, and I know it doesn't put off as much overspray as spray paint does, but you still need something to contain that in. If not, it's going to be all over everything. Now, granted, it is easier to clean up because it's a water-based paint that I use, but still, you don't want that overspraying on a cup that's drying. So, find something to contain it with. And I highly recommend not only wearing your mask, but turning some type of fan on while you're doing this to get that, to keep that paint from floating around in the air. I think that's about it. I've made a heck of a mess showing y'all everything. But that is it, I do believe. But if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave me a comment down below. I try to always answer your comments and messages or any questions you have. If there's anything that you think I could be doing better, you know, please let me know. Maybe some things that I showed you tonight that may have not worked for you, that I could possibly try or stay away from. I'd love to hear them. But like I said, if you haven't already hit that like and subscribe button, I hope you do so on your way out. We appreciate all of our viewers. We're trying to grow our channel little by little. I have so much trouble uploading my videos. It frustrates me sometimes. I literally have to sit here and babysit this video until it uploads. But it is what it is. I'm not some tech guru, so I don't know what camera I should get, if I even want to buy one at all. I'm not looking to get rich off of making YouTube videos. I mean, a little, you know, funds coming in every now and then would be great. I could put that back into my business. But I have my phone to work with right now, and I'm pretty content with it. Oh, another thing that I just started doing that you guys may be interested in, we're taking people's cups, maybe their Yetis or their Ozark Mountains that they already have on hand that haven't been decorated with anything yet. Maybe they just have a color on them, or maybe they just are plain stainless steel cup. We're cleaning them up and repurposing them and making them a personalized cup from them. So yes, I do allow customers to bring their cups to me, whether they're bought new or whether there's something they already had, and I just charge them a discounted price. Basically, I take off the price of the cup that I would normally pay for, and then I just charge them the difference. And they seem to be loving it because so many people have approached me saying, I have this cup, just to show you. Okay, so this is the Ozark Mountain, and it's one of the painted ones. So basically, I'm just going to scuff this up, and I'm going to prime it with a gray or white, and we're going to go over it, and this is going to be a shark scene. She loves sharks, and this is going to be her commemorative Shark Week cup. So we're going to redo that one for her. And then this is her son's tumbler. Okay, I know a lot of people are advertising this size cup. This is called a low ball. This is not a kid's size cup. Maybe for a older kid that their hand-eye coordination is a little bit better, but for the toddlers, this does not work. There is no spill-proof lid on it, and they can't grip it very well. So these are actually for, say, sipping drinks, say whiskeys, such like that, or I guess you could put coffee in it. But these are really adult cups, if anybody was ever wondering that. So I had a customer the other day bring me her own thermos that she'd ordered off Amazon, and it's a great little thing. Hers was a lot different than this. It had a locking lid on it, but when the lid popped up, it had a straw that came out for her little girl. Her little girl was only 2, and this was much easier for her to hold on to. But this came with, like, say, a lunchbox set. And I do believe, from the looks of it, either had Spider-Man or Transform on it. And this is just screen print on here. And you can see how it's, well, not screen print, it's a print and transfer that was on it. So it's coming off. So we're going to use acetone to take this the rest of the way off, and we're going to repurpose this little tumbler for him. It's going to be Baby Shark. But, spider there. But this is another way to drum up some more business from you. Put the word out that you can repurpose their cups for them, because basically you're doing the same thing already. You're taking a brand new cup, scuffing it up, and covering it up anyway. So why not take something old and do the same thing to it? You know, I just ask that they wash them before they bring them over here. You know, I'm not saying that I've ever had anybody bring me a disgusting cup, but you just never know. It's good hygiene. I won't repeat what my phone just said, but anyway. Okay, guys, well, I'm going to hop off here. Like I said, if you have any questions or if you have any tips you would like to give me, I'll be glad to hear them, and I'll be glad to answer your questions back about anything we do here. You know, like I said, not only do we do the tumblers, but we also do machine embroidery, vinyl, whether it be heat transfer, decals, from lettering vans to lettering dump trucks. We do it all. And we do hand painted decor as well, such as signs and stuff like that. So just leave me a message and I'll be sure to get back in touch with you. Until then, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. Bye.